Hi, everybody, and welcome to this lecture where we are going to be learning about how to save files. This might seem like a simple topic, but I just still want to cover it as it is quite important. So let's drag in a message box. I'll drag in a message box like that into our sequence, and I'll just put the number 1. So now you'll see, because I've made a change to our main workflow, it has a little asterisk there, which means it needs to be able to save, or it needs to be saved. It means changes have been made. There's two ways to save it. We can either save it with a save button, or we can save it by actually running the file. So let me show you that. If I run this file, it should give us a little message box with the number 1, click OK, and it's done. So now you can see the asterisk is gone, and that's because it's been saved because we ran it. Let's make a change to this workflow, change this to number 2. The asterisk is back because I made a change. And if I want to save this file, I can simply click this save button, or I can use Control S on my keyboard as a shortcut. So if I click Control S, you can see it has now saved the file. If we have more than one file, let me go to my project panel. Let's create a new sequence. Now we have the sequence. Let me drag in a message box here, and I'll just put the number 1 in here as well. So now we've made a change to this one. Let me put the number 3 here. Now we've made a change to both. If I want to save both of them, I have to click this little drop down and click Save All. And then it'll save both of them. What I could have also done is used Control Shift S on my keyboard as the shortcut. Lastly, you can save or duplicate a file using Save As. So you can go File, Save As, and I'll just call this Sequence 2. And I'll save that. So now it saved this file as sequence 2. If I open sequence, there we have our message box. In sequence 2, we have our message box. It duplicates your same workflow with a new name. You could also right-click copy, right-click paste, and it'll generate you a duplicate workflow, but then you'd have to come and rename it by clicking rename and changing it to something like sequence 3. There you go. That's another way you can duplicate workflows. Best practice, whenever you're using these XAML files, make sure you are connecting all of them with an invoke workflow file activity. So you'd have to be in your main activity, and you'd have to be using an invoke workflow. Invoke workflow file, right? And then you'd need to select your other sequence. So sequence 1, sequence 2, and sequence 3. Now I can run all of these, and it should just show me a whole bunch of message boxes. There's the one, there's the other one, and there's the third one. That is all for saving your files. In terms of exporting as template, you can always create a template from a process and export it over here. You just give it a template name and you can save it. Then you can reuse this template in other projects if you'd like. Similar to what I mentioned earlier on in the course, where you can create a template, you can also create it directly from a process and then export it as a template. In the next lecture, we are going to be learning something very important, which is how to run the files and how to debug them.